Hi, this is Thunder from Booredatwork.com, and welcome to our hands-on walkthrough, or if you will, review of Android 4.0 Ice Cream Sandwich on the Galaxy Nexus. Now, the reason I'm making this video is a lot of people who have Nexus S's will also be getting Android 4.0, or probably already have started. So this is a way to give you a tour and a nice review overlook of how Android 4.0 works. And also, if you're looking to pick up a Galaxy Nexus, this also works for you. So you can see this notification blinking at the bottom means that I have an email, text message, or something, and it's blinking right here, and that's where the notification is at the bottom of your device. Now, you've probably heard of the famous facial unlock screen and how that works. Once you set it up, you have to actually have two layers, if you will. If it doesn't recognize your face, or if it's too bright, or if it's too dim, you have to put in a passcode. So for instance, I'm tap that here, that's the space, my face is in there, you can see it says, and then I can put in my PIN number. So there's always a second layer to help you open up your device. Now let me show you how it works. Kind of tricky with the camera here. See if we can do this. There you go, open. And it actually works fairly well. So you can see it does a good job there. So this is our main home page in Android 4.0. Of course, similar with all Android devices, you do have several home screens, if you will, which I can scroll through. First thing you notice is your Google search is now on top here. It's dedicated there, but you can also take that off if you want to. Your notification bar is also different. You can see it's transparent. You can actually see it's see-through, and the quick access to your settings is actually at the top of the notification bar. So if I tap that, I jump right into settings. It's very simple. Now at the bottom you can see, we got it here, at the bottom you can see your on-screen buttons. You have your back, your home, and this is your multitask buttons. These are your buttons for the device. There are no physical buttons, there are no touch sensitive buttons, but you do have on-screen buttons. There is no search because of course search bar is dedicated on the top of the device. You do have your docked area here at the bottom, right above your buttons, where you have your call, your contacts. You do have your app tray, of course text message and web, which you can swap in and out. Now, Android 4.0 is very smooth on the Galaxy Nexus because, of course, it's got the dual-core processor and 1 GB of RAM, but a bunch of things that are unique to it. So, for instance, you can see I have folders, and the folders are designed differently now. They now look like a circular stack, if you will. The circle, you can see stacks of folders behind. So, I click on that. This is my Google folder, which is already created for me with this. And over here is a folder I created. This is my video folder. And it's easy to actually edit or create a folder. So let's go ahead and try that. So we have the gallery and we have settings here. All we have to do is basically click on one of the applications and drag it one to another. So we have gallery, double stack right there, and then we have a folder of gallery and settings. I can now, it says unnamed. To name it, I just have to tap where it says unnamed, and I can call it SG, settings and gallery, if I want to, and done. Gallery is named. If I want to split the folder, I just have to take one application out. Done. And I can do that. I can stack more applications in, and it's very, very easy to use and easy to create a folder here for you. All right, so let's go into the settings first and take a look at the settings in total here. So our settings layout is now it's changed. It's different. You can see it's well placed, and also that is broken out as a category. So you have your wireless and network, you have your devices category, personal, which includes your accounts, location information, and finally system. So looking at the wireless networks, you do have, of course, your Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and data usage. Now this helps you check out the data usage you have on how much data you use on your device, what devices are using data currently, and also from here you can actually force close devices. So if I click on maps, I can see view app settings and so on and so forth. Let me just head back there. So I can go into, say, Twitter. Try that here. Restrict background data. So you can also restrict background data if you want to for certain applications and so on and so forth. You can also turn on and off mobile data, and you can set data limits. So see the warning here says 2 gigabytes. I can go ahead and set that and make sure that, you know, I can set warnings between 2 5, whichever way I want. So that is something to take note and know, and it's something cool to have if you're on a limited plan that says runs, you know, 200 megabytes or whatever it is you have for your data plan. It's something that it's very useful to have. So, and we also have more. The more section here allows you to look at things like airplane mode, VPN, wireless tethering and hotspot, which you can do with a Nexus. You can do portable, you can also configure, and you can also do Bluetooth sharing. So not sharing this phone's internet connection. So, so on and so forth there. NFC, which is an NFC capable device. Android Beam, which allows you to transfer information from one Android 4.0 device, most likely a Galaxy Nexus to another Galaxy Nexus. And you do have Wi-Fi Direct, where you can actually create a Wi-Fi hub between 2 devices or 2 or more devices. Now in device section, you now have your sound, your display, your storage. And in this case, it says 28, which should be 32 in total, but probably some useful system. Now, if you notice, when you get into applications, you see this 3-dot bar. That's basically your menu button now. It's changed from having a menu button on the screen. So you hit that 3-dot bar. That actually gives you more menu options, and you see that throughout this this video. Of course. So, like I said, you have your storage, you have your battery. Now, battery life is much improved on Android 4.0, and you can see some of the battery options. You can see already 18 hours and 8 minutes on battery. So that's the amount of time I've used this device without charging, and 41% dispense. So there's a lot of improved battery life functionality on the on Android 4.0, and something you probably see as a Nexus S user once you get an update. And also other devices overall, you can see what items are using battery on your system. So I have screen here, which is of course my display. You know, I can also look at, say, my phone, my media server, things like that are using battery functionality, if you will. And then you have applications, which of course allows you to see what you've downloaded, what you're running, and it also shows you the amount progress in RAM it's used, and it's free and available. And of course all the applications. And from here you can uninstall apps, and again you can see the menu button there. So I can go in to say, let's see what application I have. Let's see if we can uninstall pre-installed apps. We can disable. So Verizon Mobile, we can actually disable it. We can't uninstall it. So it's something to take notes in here. Then the personal section. The personal section includes your accounts, your location services, security, language input, and backup and reset, which we all know. Now it's nice now. The backup and reset is now a dedicated button section or button or list in this category. You don't have to actually go into security to look for that. So it's well spelled out. You do have security here, and I'll show you the screen lock, where you can decide to select. I can have to confirm my PIN, but in here you can decide to select facial recognition or pattern screen lock, and so on and so forth. And so you have that in here, and you have improved face matching, things like that. Automatically will lock in 30 seconds, vibration and touch, so encryption, and you have a couple more features and security information. And you have for a device administrator, so this for business users. There's more functionality here with the with Android 4.0 in setting security systems on your device. Now on the systems, of course, you have dating time, accessibility, developer options, about phone, which of course we know very well shows us version of Android. We're running other system information you have on here. So we're running 4.0.2. Now in developer options, which is built in, you have different debugging options, desktop background password, allow mock locations, pointer. You can also show CPU use. So I turn that on. You can see in the top right hand corner I already have that in there. Show screen updates. Force GPU rendering, show CPU usage, Windows animation scale. So it's 1x. I can go to 10x, and I can show you what that shows. See how slow the animation comes up. So that's something you can actually do and apply. Transition scale, so on and so forth. So there's a lot more developer access built into these devices with Android 4.0 in there. So that's pretty much the settings option, and you can see it's well laid out, and it's more simplified now. It's easier for you to manage and use. So like even your Wi-Fi, you can turn it on and off, but you can directly from here, but you can also jump in if you choose to. So there's something to, you know, because I haven't turned it on, so there's nothing in there. Advanced will bring me to more advanced options. So that's the setting total. So now, as I mentioned, this is your multitask button, and once I tap that, you can see it now shows you all the different applications that I'm running. You can run, I believe, up to about 10 applications in total, and it's very easy to kill applications. In Android 3.0 you had this option, but you couldn't necessarily kill an application from here because it wasn't built in. Some manufacturers like Lenovo had created a way to X out applications, but now it's a simple process. So I can swipe it left, I can swipe it right, and I've killed an application, and that's it. It's very, very simple, very easy to use, and a very simple process in total. So now from here, let's jump in and check out email. So this is Booredatwork email. You can see email layout, it's changed now. You do have your email lists. At the bottom now, you now have your options for composing, for searching, labels, refresh, and of course, again, as I mentioned, your menu button here, which gives you into more settings for your email. It's well spread out. It's similar to what you have in Android 3.0, but it's been updated for you here on the device. So the email options changed and has a different look altogether. Now, showing you search and keyboard. The new Android keyboard, you can see the search options. Once you tap on there, you can see it gives you options to do voice search. Also shows you your search history immediately, and then you, of course, the keyboard layout is still the same. One thing I will mention though, I mean, the keyboard is improved, but it still has you know, a long way to go for me anyway in adaptability, and also just matching your key types and presses. Of course, your menu button here, of course, is just settings for your search, so you can actually find out different search options, if you will. Alright, so let us check the web browser. Now, the web browser has gotten a nice overhaul. Now, in general, it still looks the same. You can see I'm landing page here, searching for bleach wallpapers. I'm using an option in the lab function, so you can see there is no address bar on top or any options out there. Or if I swipe from the right side, if I swipe from the right or left, sorry, you can see I have options here. So the options here, that's my menu. Of course, that brings the address bar, so I can bring that back up again. And then this here goes to my tabs. Now my tab layout is completely different now. Before it was side to side. Now you can scroll. Tabs are scrolled up and down, so you can see the different tabs that I have with the browser here. Of course, you do have your menu options, so I can create new tab. I can search incognito, go to history, save pages, and then go into settings. Now my settings here, I have general settings, of course, which shows autofill and things like that, and set a home page. I choose to, so I can select whichever home page or do a custom one here, other, so I can do, you know, I'll set Booredatwork as a home page. So set that as a home page. Privacy and security here, you can clear history, cache, cookies, information, enable location if you want to, take that off. Remember passwords or clear passwords, all that fun stuff. And then, of course, you do have accessibility, showing you force enable zoom, preview text size, text scaling, fonts, all that, inverted rendering, and so on and so forth, as well as your contrast below. In advanced settings here, you have search engine options, which is very interesting. You can actually change your search engine from Google to Yahoo or Bing. So Android 4.0 gives you the ability built in to use Bing search if you like. If that's something you use, you can use Yahoo search if you will. So whichever search of the three major search engines you use, it's something you can use. Opening backgrounds, Java plugins, website settings, page overviews, autofill, text encoding, and so on and so forth. Bandwidth management, you can actually manage this to actually reduce your bandwidth usage if you like. Load images, that takes up more bandwidth, so you can actually change stuff like that. And labs, so this is the lab functionality here, full screen mode, and quick controls. So this is what I was using to bring up those controls on the side. Turn it on, I can turn it off, and we'll head back. So like I mentioned, the controls are very easy. You just slide from either side. You can see that brings up my address bar. Slide again, I can go into the settings if I want to. You can see the settings come up. I can request desktop sites here, so I can do that. It'll only push desktop sites for any website I go to. So if we do a quick test here, we can see, say we do CNN. Usually CNN's mobile site comes up. So you can see that it's CNN's mobile site. So let's go here. See, as you can see, as I changed that already, it's switched over to the desktop site. So it's something you can use whenever you're surfing the web and apply those functionalities in there. Alright, so that's the browser. Let's look at the dialer itself. So the dialer, it's still a similar dialer. Of course, you see now it's all blue accented. You have your number of keys. You can search. Of course, the call button. This is your backspace. You have a menu here for settings where you can actually do voice settings, voicemail settings. So I can switch this from carrier. If I was using Google Voice, that option will pop up here. Accounts shows you receiving in calls. You can add an account to this, so on and so forth. Of course, then you do have your call log, shows you who's here. Because again, there is a setting which takes you back, of course, to your settings features and your contacts. This is favorites, usually favorite contacts that are there in that section. So that's the dial for you. The contact label is also here. You can see the contacts. You can search for contacts here, and it's pretty much the same, but it's just a different layout spread of contacts, if you will. Alright, let's go into the app tray. We've talked about a lot of things here, but we haven't actually talked about apps, widgets, and all this. So if we tap on the app tray, now moving from app to app or to the widget sections, you actually can either jump to widgets directly, or you can actually scroll through from side to side. And there's a new animation here, so you see the next tray actually comes from behind in the animation and then slides up forward. So I'm going through my different applications, and then from here I can slide into widgets. So you can see your widgets. Now these are, of course, the stock Android widgets. If you have applications that create widgets, they will also pop up within the widget area here. And then you can apply your widgets onto your home screen. Now, one thing to note is and also there's a direct access to the marketplace right here. So you can just tap and jump into the Android marketplace, which of course is been updated and looks the same on every device, where you have your sections for apps, music, books, and movies. And again, just reminding you, this is your menu button, if you will. So when you download a new application, it will actually populate directly on the home screen. So for instance, I downloaded Twitter, and that came up right there. The icon will pop up there, as well as be in your app tray. Same thing with speed test, and it pops up in different locations on your home screen. Long press not only gives you the options for gallery, live paper, and wallpaper, so you cannot go and directly put up a widget. To put in a widget, you need to go into your app tray and then go into the widget section. So there's no long pressing for that. Taking a look at some of the live wallpapers, we do have bubbles, whole spiral, micros, Nexus, phase, spectrum. Pretty much a standard affair of Android live wallpapers here on the device. Now your messaging center, it's a little different. There are no conversations here, but you can see you have a search button in the middle. I can create a new message, and of course your attachment is on the top. You do have ability to add subjects, a smiley, discard, and go into settings. You can delete all messages, text message limits, 500. Let's see the max here. See how far this can go. Pretty much as much text messages as you want, or how much storage you have. Cancel that. Multimedia message sets, delivery report, SMS management, auto retrieve, roaming auto retrieve, your notifications, sudden ringtones for your messages, or vibrate. So you do have many different options here for that. Again, settings here, it's the same settings that you have that we just went through, showing you that option in here. So that's pretty much it. As far as other applications are, your email hub, still the same, just different visual look and setting up how the email setup is. Not much in changes to other applications in general, and it's pretty much what you have. The calendar, although it's gotten a new look, if you will, so you can see the calendar, how it's created. If you go into the settings here, you can search events, refresh calendar to display. You can go into settings here, you can select a calendar, or you can do into general preferences here and show and set your notifications and other options for your calendar. So we head back. We can decide to do day, week, month. If we do months, you can see month. We can go into agendas and so on and so forth. So the calendar's got a nice little facelift. Overall, Android 4.0 is a vast improvement for what we've had from 2.3 and 3.0. It's merged a lot of the two versions of Android together. Brought a lot of good things. One of the great benefits is the battery life. You can see with this device, we've used it. That's me in usage and standby, and that was about 18 hours or so, which is correct from my last charge. Also, the key things to note: there are no physical buttons. There is no menu button on the screen anymore. Menu is now subtext to each application, if you will. Your settings also can only be accessed through your notification bar on the top, or there's also an icon on screen here, which is actually already placed there for you, and you can move that. You can also get the icon from your app tray if you like. So those are some of the features, and if you do have things like the facial unlock feature, which actually works, and there are also many visual changes and differences within the application. There's one more thing we didn't check, which was the camera, which we can show you here briefly. The camera app here is simpler. You have three options. Middle, of course, is to take photos. The right here is for your panorama, so you can switch to that, and that gives you the panorama view. And you can go in here and switch. Sorry, you can switch to video. Now you have the zoom function. You can switch over to front-facing camera. Your menu here gives you the option for flash, white balance, of course your effects, your different effects from smiley face. This is in the video mode, to background, and pick your own. You have different backgrounds to pick from. You do have a time-lapse interval, so we can actually do time-lapse video. So what we will do is we will create some time-lapse video with the Galaxy Nexus and just throw it up to show you guys, see how it is. You have different time-lapse settings from 1 second to 10 seconds, and of course video. Highest quality is 1080p, and we can set that at 1080p there, and we can store locations or turn it on and off. If we switch to the camera, take a look at the camera settings here. We do have a white balance, of course, exposure, scene modes. We have flash, auto, and in here picture size 5 megapixels. This camera doesn't take photos in widescreen, so just to let you guys know. And of course your buttons here will disappear but eventually come back up. So that is pretty much it on Android 4.0. If you have any questions or any comments about it, let us know. Hopefully this video was helpful in helping you use Android 4.0 and helping you understand how it functions. Don't forget to subscribe to our pages on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Google+. We have the links below. And again, this is Thunder saying thank you and always enjoy entertainment.